Hey guys, so we are back, and tomorrow I'm having my cloud computing exam. Exam in the sense quiz. It's for 10 marks. I'll be having 20 questions, all MCQ based, and I haven't prepared anything. My exam tomorrow is at around 5:30 in the evening, and it's 10 p.m. right now. Uh, you know, hopefully I should be able to complete by tonight. I just give me a sec. I'll just post this on Twitter as well. Mhm. You must really visit one more roti. Oh, what the hell? Sure. Okay, yeah, I was about to post, right? Study with me, night time. Okay, Control X, Control V. Yep, all set. Posted. Hopefully somebody will react. I'll just go through my LinkedIn as well, just in case anybody is there. Oh my goodness, Selbo University is starting on campus side. Oh my goodness, I cannot come on campus. Ninety-six reactions so far on my LinkedIn post. Nothing as such, nothing concerning as such. Close, close. Right, back to cloud computing. Since I cannot share these videos, I can live stream them. I mean, there's no rule mentioned by ma'am that I cannot live stream. Ha! So I'm going to live stream Windows Capture. Obsidian, Window Capture 2, no. Select a window to capture, Google Chrome, what is it? This one? Alright. Boom. I'll just send with the audio as well. Hopefully I don't get a copyright. And yep, let's start studying. But just before that, I'll just check if there's anything on the WhatsApp. All clean, all clean. My palms are a bit sweaty right now. Oh, crap. Yep. All right.
Record the first chapter of cloud computing. Most of the topic I have covered in the class that 7 to 8 classes I have taken, and this record will help you for your final midterm exam as well as your final exam also. Okay, so so many topic we will cover here. That is, I have already written here over here. Okay, this is the topic of first semester. Not first semester, it's the first chapter. And the topics are computing model, definition of cloud computing, vision, characteristics, challenges, internet and web services, hosting service provider, cloud computing platform and technology, virtualization and containerization, BIT measures, cloud setup. This is an extra topic which I have added over here. Different kind of service provider which provide the services IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Type of cloud, different type of clouds, and it's some application in IoT military architecture. So it's just one example how IoT architecture actually work in military system. Okay, so I directly come to the part. What is computing resources? Okay, so computing resources. What is computing resources? So my computing resources, which is also called the computing nodes, that resources are maybe desktop server, okay, maybe desktop server, maybe processor, maybe memory, maybe storage, maybe network, and many more. There is no limitation of computing resources, and all the resources are basically available in a internet, available in a internet, and any person from anywhere, from any device, they can access those resources. They can access those resources. Access, maybe from desktop, maybe from mobile, maybe from server, they can access those resources. And anytime, maybe night, maybe morning, maybe day, and anywhere, maybe from Ranchi, Jharkhand, maybe from Bengal, maybe from other state, like that. Okay, so cloud computing term, it is, everybody says it is an advanced technology. But according to me, it is not advanced technology. This 21st centuries, this term was called as a grid or cluster. This term was called as a grid or cluster. Means cloud computing advanced technology कुछ था ही नहीं, इसका नाम 21st century में as a grid या cluster use किया जाता है. But some commercial provider or business provider, commercial or business provider, they actually thought that we use their resources which is not at all used by them. Those resources, they use their resources uh, into the cloud. So other person who may be the who may be not have capability for not accessing for buying those resources. So those commercial service provider, this is called commercial service provider, CSP, they actually give their resources or store their resources over the internet, and they actually help cloud consumer means the person, it can be any person, it can be any startup company like us. Okay, we like any application making company, they can use these resources over the internet, which is over the internet. They can use those resources from using any devices from anywhere, and they can fulfill their work. They can actually fulfill their work. So this kind of service provider provide the services which is called the service computing, which called the service computing. Okay, so cloud computing is not an advanced technology. In 21st century, cloud computing was termed as grid and cluster. This grid and cluster, ये इसी के नाम से ही इसको जाना जाता था. But now जब कमर्शियल पर्पस में
Grid
इसको
and
यूज करने
cluster.
लगे कंप्यूटर सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स, जो क्या किए, अपना रिसोर्सेज जो उनको चाहिए नहीं या उनके पास बहुत है, बहुत में से आधा पार्ट उन्होंने अपने लिए रख लिया, और बाकी जो आधा पार्ट है वो उन्होंने इंटरनेट में उसको इंटरनेट में उसको एज अ होस्टिंग सर्विस प्रोवाइडर इंटरनेट में होस्ट कर दिया. तो एज अ गेस्ट मतलब जो क्लाउड कंज्यूमर है, एज अ गेस्ट हमारे पास, इफ वी आर स्टार्टअप कंपनी और वी आर अ सिंगल पर्सन, एनी काइंड ऑफ पर्सन, सिंपल पर्सन, और वी आर एप्लीकेशन डेवलपर, सो हम लोग क्या किए कि उतने बड़े रिसोर्सेज को खरीदने से अच्छा एज अ पे बेसिस में हम उसको यूज करें. एज अ पे बेसिस वी कैन यूज दोस रिसोर्सेज as much time as much as and after that again we return back the resources over the internet so that others can use those resources again. So in this way, this is actually agreement has been done. Agreement has been done between the cloud service provider and cloud consumer, and that agreement is called service level agreement. Service level agreement. This is like a Google Form kind of thing. Okay, how many days the resources will be used, how many time, and from which device they will. Maybe some devices doing malfunction and all. So those devices, service provider first say those devices will be allowed or not allowed if it is given a malfunction. Okay, so this is a cloud computing basic. And for again and again, I'm saying this is not a new term. Earlier, it was used as a term of read and cluster, but when it is commercialized, when this read and cluster are commercialized purpose, they are using, who are using business service provider or cloud service provider, they give
So one question could be, what was cloud computing earlier called? It was called grid and cluster.
their resources or they host their resources over the internet. And as a case, who has not that much money or not that much amount of things they can pay because they are maybe startup or maybe they are very money arm आदमी जिसको बोलते हैं, or any application developer, they do not need all those resources. They only develop their application and deploy that application over the internet, so they can buy those based on the service. Okay, so it's a basically development of application development of software, development of services in a runtime environment, and any high-end application from the end user side can be done by using uh, this kind of resources, application service provider by the application service provider. Okay, so cloud consumer leverages this kind of existing services over the internet as long as they need. Okay? And for that they have to pay for it. Okay? And then here I'm given a thing that I have already explained in the class that uh, I need to grow my infrastructure, but I don't know for how to. Okay, so I have my own infrastructure, but I need to do. That's a VIP. I'm taking an example of VIP. VIP has only one cluster, which is also called cloud. Okay, and that cluster, not one cluster, VIP has one cluster and one desktop cluster, one server cluster and one desktop cluster, and these two are basically merged with the help of client server model. Client server model based on client server. So VIP has own private cluster. Now this has limitation. Every infrastructure has some limitations. Okay, so VIP wants to expand their work, so they collaborate with maybe Amazon, the service provider, maybe Amazon, maybe Google, okay, maybe Microsoft Azure, Microsoft Azure. I'm writing only these three names because these three service providers were first starting with cloud computing term. Okay, so private, these are the private, and they have their own public cloud. So I just want to merge my private cloud with the public cloud of Amazon, Google, and Microsoft Azure. So I need to here that I want to grow my infrastructure. So my infrastructure has limited, my infrastructure has limit, but I want to do. How can I do it? Here the answer is I have a lot of infrastructure that I want to rent. So these companies state that I have a lot of infrastructure and I want to give them as a rent. So this private cloud, our private cloud, is connected with the public cloud of this customer service provider as rent. Rent. Okay. This is the first two term, this term and this term. Now this term says I cannot invest in infrastructure. मतलब आपको infrastructure में मतलब I just started my so any starting company, any startup company, basically try to increase or basically increase their not try to increase, they are basically try to start their company and try to grow in a global way, try to grow it in a global way. So what they do, तो उसका आंसर जो है वो यहाँ पे I have a surplus of infrastructure that I want to make use. तो मेरे पास इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है और मैं एक स्टार्टअप कंपनी हूँ, मैं ये स्टार्टअप कंपनी का क्या करेगा, इसके साथ यही जो क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर है इसके थ्रू वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को एज अ कंज्यूम करेगा एज लॉन्ग एज दे नीड, एज लॉन्ग एज दे नीड और okay. So this kind of startup companies they are mostly used to grow their business in worldwide, but they do not actually handle the infrastructure. Do not want to handle their infrastructure. So they take it, the infrastructure takes from IBM or HP or any IBM, HP or any Amazon, Google, Azure from them, so that the maintenance cost will be reduced. So that the maintenance cost will be reduced. Configuring cost will be reduced. So that the migrated cost will be reduced. They only concentrate on their over their business, not this kind of infrastructure. For that, they take that infrastructure as a rent. Okay. So this is another thing. And again, I'm here. I want to focus on application. Now, it is a application development. ठीक है, एप्लीकेशन लॉजिक एंड नॉट मेंटेनेंस प्लस स्केलेबिलिटी. मतलब क्या है कि मेरा एप्लीकेशन पे काम है, एप्लीकेशन डेवलपर में काम कर रही हूँ, बट मैं अपना जो अंडरलाइन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, अंडरलाइन मेरा मिडलवेयर है, अंडरलाइन पास सर्विसेज है, जिसको हम बोलते हैं प्लेटफॉर्म एज अ सर्विसेज एंड अंडरलाइन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एज अ सर्विसेज. दिस इज नॉट माय कंसर्न. दिस इज एक्चुअली द कंसर्न ऑफ ओपन सर्विसेज. तो इसका आंसर क्या है? आई हैव इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एंड मिडलवेयर बोथ. आई कैन बूस्ट अप. तो ये जो डेवलप करेगा एप्लीकेशन वो होस्ट कौन करेगा? ये सारी सर्विस प्रोवाइडर, बिकॉज दे हैव देयर ओन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एंड मिडलवेयर. So they can only host their application. ठीक है, they can host others application over the. तो देखिए लेफ्ट हैंड साइड जो है all are question आंसर है ऑलरेडी गिवन. ठीक है, I want to access edit my document and photos from everywhere. ठीक है, but as a we use WhatsApp, we use Facebook, and we basically what we upload our document, our photograph, our important things. Which method for use करूँ? It can be global way में, sorry not global, it is generic way में use किया जाता है. It's a things I want to upload over the internet, but I don't have infrastructure, I don't have anything. So that infrastructure provided by Facebook or Amazon or maybe any other service. ठीक है, I have infrastructure and provide application. तो मैं एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोवाइडर हूँ या मिडलवेयर प्रोवाइडर हूँ या मैं एक सॉफ्टवेयर प्रोवाइडर हूँ. मैं ऑल काइंड ऑफ सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करेंगे. मतलब आप अपना फोटो अपलोड करोगे तो वो एज अ सर्विसेज हम उसको एज अ इंटरनेट में होस्ट करेंगे. ठीक है, तो ये सारी चीज जो है बेसिकली दिस थिंग्स आर अंडर द क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग कैटगरी. So that's why the cluster and these things use as a cloud for this kind of commercial use. Okay. So resources are available at the internet and we can access those resources as per need. ठीक है, and as an application developer we can also take API. We can also use API. API also available for Amazon, from Amazon or Google or anywhere. API is available. Based on that API, we can develop and deploy our own what we say, our own application over the internet, so that people can see our own development, our own application. Okay, so that can also be possible. So whenever you need to access it, you just pay as much as they need, and after paying it, you can deploy and develop and deploy your application over. So this kind of service provider, so the cloud computing term comes when the service provider coin that term, yeah, by using their resources over the internet or hosting their resources over the internet. Okay. So there are two things. One is called cloud consumers, who are basically cloud buyer जो बोल सकते हैं हम लोग, ठीक है, at a particular point of time. And one is provider who is basically develop, deploy, migrate, configure, growing and shrinking any kind of resources based on the requirement of the service provider. Okay. Now I'm coming to this slide. This slide I have already explained that what actually this slide is. Public cloud. So public cloud, what public cloud actually is. Public cloud provides runtime environment, provides storage, not only storage, you can write down infrastructure as a service or hardware as a service. It can provide middleware or platform as a service. It can provide all application and computing services. It is accumulatively called SaaS and software as a service. Okay? So public cloud is basically public. It is public and anybody from any device they can access based on the payment. Okay. Any device, maybe from phone, maybe from here I'm given a two example only, maybe from phone, maybe from iPad, or maybe from another desktop, maybe from server, from desktop, maybe from server. Okay. So this public cloud have their own cloud manager who is basically maintain all its hardware part, middleware part, as well as software. Not only maintain, configure, okay, migrate, develop, deploy, growing, shrinking, all the requirements which actually the client needs. Okay. There are other government sector is also there. In government sector, they are also use the private cloud. Government sector, they generally use the private cloud. They are not public cloud. Because in government sector, so many firewall was using so that we cannot access any government information. और करना भी नहीं चाहिए, अभी बहुत सारे क्राइम भी हो रहा है, तो गवर्नमेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन के लिए बहुत सारे फायरवॉल यूज करते हैं एज अ प्राइवेट सर्विस प्रोवाइडर. So it is basically depend on that. Classes is going on. Don't count. And other cloud service provider. So other cloud service provider, it is basically here I am taking three terms: community cloud and hybrid. Now, what is the difference between community cloud and hybrid cloud? Community means एक community के अंदर होना चाहिए, colony के अंदर होना चाहिए. Suppose community cloud is HP have its own cloud and IBM has its own cloud, and these two are interconnected of each other, and they are making a bubble. So bubble under bubble, that is called the community cloud. So HP has its own cloud, but some part of the HP they want to use the IBM cloud. Similarly, some part of IBM cloud they want to interact with HP cloud. So this is called bubble under bubble, and it is also called Internet of Cloud. Internet of Cloud. Internet of Cloud or community. But hybrid cloud is that some, just say Amazon, some part are private cloud. So Amazon has 7 data centers. Out of 7 data centers, 5 data centers is used for privately and 2 data centers is used for public. So this is called hybrid cloud. Amazon has the public cloud. Amazon has hybrid cloud. Amazon will also act as a hybrid cloud as same as Google, Microsoft Azure, Salesforce, Toyota, and your work. Okay, all are doing the same. Okay. So after this, I'm completing the part one portion of the cloud, and then after 4 5 minutes, again I will record the second part of the cloud because there is a storage problem. So small part I will. Okay. Thank you.
Right. I'm done with the first one.
I have already recorded this part, but I don't know why Microsoft team is doing a lot of time this kind of thing with everyone. Nobody was gotten a recording properly. You have already see that page has already I have recorded, but it was automatically just erased from my team. I don't understand why it is happened because nobody can understand. Everybody is doing the same thing. Number of time they are recording, and this is actually not properly recorded. Okay, so cloud deployment.
The issue is Microsoft Teams. It's not the issue with you, man. Everyone says Microsoft Teams is the best app for classroom and academic management. You know what I mean. Oh, no. Okay, oh, very good. So I have another meeting right now. Lead to contest discussion. I wish there was a way to pause the stream, but unfortunately I cannot. And now that I am revising my cloud computing, I don't want to break the pace. Somebody help me. Alright, I'm going to mute so that you don't get disturbed, and let's continue the cloud computing chapter.
Model here I'm starting. ठीक है, last यहीं से खत्म किए थे, यहीं से शुरू करते हैं. Cloud deployment model, there are three kind of cloud. One is public, private and hybrid. Another cloud is there which is called community cloud. Okay, which is called community cloud. Now just a minute. Community cloud. Now public cloud is also called internet cloud. Public cloud is also called internet cloud. Okay, why it is internet cloud? Because it is also a third party providers. It is also called third party providers. Third party is basically Amazon, Google, Salesforce, Amazon, Google, Salesforce, Microsoft Azure. These are all third party who has their public cloud, who basically hosts their cloud or resources. Cloud is nothing, it's a set of resources in a over the cloud, over the internet, and we as a service consumer, we just consume as a rent basis. Okay, so they have their own infrastructure, they have their multi-tenant cloud infrastructure, and all services, middleware, everything is available. And you just subscribe basis, you just take their access their resources. Okay, so this is very good example of public cloud, that one teacher is giving one teacher is basically teaches to their student, and student is just the public. Student is public. Okay, they are listening to teacher, they are grasping the information which teacher actually try to give, or they teach, they take information from the teacher. So this is actually the teacher has the service provider or information provider, and student is information acceptor, or it access the information from the teacher. So this is a simple example of public cloud. Okay, similarly private cloud, it is also called enterprise cloud. Sometimes it is called company particular cloud, government cloud. Sometimes it is called, many more names are there. Government cloud is also under this private cloud. This is also private. Okay, so sometimes it is called business cloud. So many more name is there. So this public this private cloud is basically क्या है, a public cloud model within a company own data set. It means क्या है कि it's not public, ये public word को काट देता है यहाँ पे. It's a public नहीं, it is a private cloud model, and it is based on own data center. जिसका अपना data center है, उसका अपना private cloud है. ठीक है, own data center means own infrastructure, own middle layer, own things, own software as a services, own application. They have everything, they are own. And who access this? Their internal members, जो उस particular company, enterprise या government institute, government या academic या business में काम करते हैं, या वो जिसके साथ partnership किया है, जिसके साथ वो share करना चाहते हैं. ठीक है, तो this kind of cloud is private cloud. ये भी एक perfect example है. Here is a boss and employee. It is a boss and he is an employee. It is only a information, one-to-one information is communicated. Here one-to-many information is communicated. Here one-to-one information is communicated. One-to-many भी हो सकता है. One-to-many information is communicated, but within a particular zone, within a particular enterprise, within a particular government sector, within a particular academic center, within a particular business. So business enterprise within a particular company, जिसका अपना data center हो. ठीक है, but public is public lecture. It is publicly conference में actually lecture दे रहा है. मुझे classroom lecture नहीं होना चाहिए, it's a conference. And अलग अलग जगह से लोग आके उसको access कर रहे हैं, information को access कर रहे हैं. It means कोई भी इसको सुन सकता है. It is publicly available for everyone. Is hybrid and internet cloud. Hybrid is also called the intercloud. Hybrid cloud means intercloud. Hybrid means it is a combination of public and private. जैसे मैंने कहा था कि Amazon have 7 data centers. So out of 7 data centers, 3 data center it is a private part of Amazon, and 4 data center which basically Amazon is not using right now because Amazon doesn't have much more work right now. So these 4 data center he basically host over the internet, over
I thought it was 5 public and 2 private, but anyways.
the internet, and as a service provider he provides the services. Okay, I have 4 data center. If you want to use my usage, so that usage you can take as a rent basis. So here it is written that mixed usage of private and public. ये तो hybrid का मतलब ही है. And lease basis में public cloud को वो देता है. Though it is a private, but क्योंकि उसका काम नहीं है तो उसको वो lease basis में दूसरे कंपनी को देता है जिसके पास insufficient infrastructure, insufficient middleware, insufficient services है. तो ये जो एग्जांपल यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, दिस इज द प्राइवेट पार्ट, और एक साइड में है पब्लिक पार्ट. ओके, तो प्राइवेट एंड पब्लिक दोनों एंटिटी का कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ प्राइवेट एंड पब्लिक, सो इट इज कॉल्ड द प्राइवेट पार्ट. ओके, नाउ आई एम कमिंग the next part, which is called desktop computing. So desktop computing means it is very personalized computing. Personal or professional work में हम लोग use करते हैं. There is no need to connect in a network. इसका कोई connection नहीं है network. It's a stand-alone computer. I'm writing the stand-alone computer. So it is called the IBM. Okay. Now I'm coming to the next part, which is called desktop computing. So desktop computing means it is very personalized computing. Personal or professional work में हम लोग use करते हैं. There is no need to connect in a network. इसका कोई connection नहीं है network. It's a stand-alone computer. I'm writing the stand-alone computer. No need to no need to basically part of any network. ठीक है. So desktop computers में जो use के use होता है, that is personal, professional work, engineer, doctors, programmers, office purpose and desktop publishing के case में this kind of desktop computing is used. And here
Sorry to inform, but I did not attend the contest, so I don't think there is any point of me attending the contest. Regardless, I'm going to start it.
The software are used, which is Microsoft Office in every computer. Microsoft Office is very much needed. AutoCAD generally the designer, mechanical engineer basically use. Photoshop everybody use. Illustrator and 3D Studio Max. These are basically used for animation purpose. And then NetBeans and Visual Studio, these are basically used for movie downloading and all. And CMS. CMS is basically customer CMS और CRS दो अलग अलग सिस्टम है. एक कस्टमर मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम, कस्टमर मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम या कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप सिस्टम, कस्टमर के साथ एक रिलेशनशिप बनाए रखने के लिए इस टाइप के सॉफ्टवेयर आता है. जैसे कि एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं, doctor in doctor's computer, personal computer, there are so many patients histories are available. Now whenever the patient comes, doctor check his past history and what are the medicine actually going on for his disease. So according to that, he maybe suggest for some other test or directly give medicine based on his history. Okay, but some new patient has come. For that cases, first the doctors give a form which is just like an online form and to fulfill their history. That after checking that history, he suggests some or advise something like test or some medicine like that. Okay, so this is actually doctor's job. Similarly, we engineers are basically keep track each and every software module that working in particular modules, software module. And today I'm working this much work, and today I will start from here. Next day we will start from here, and again we modify the first part of the module. Again we modify the second part of the module. In this way, actually we are working. So desktop computing is very personal, very professional. ऑफिस में यूज होता है, डेस्कटॉप पब्लिशिंग के केस में यूज होता है. कोई भी डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर, प्रोग्रामर कोई भी इसको एज अ प्रोफेशनल जो पर्पस में उसको यूज करता है. ओके, इसको कोई नेटवर्क की जरूरत नहीं है, सिंपल इंटरनेट के थ्रू ये अपना काम करता है. ठीक है, अब आते हैं हम पैरेलल एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड पे. तो पैरेलल एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड कंप्यूटिंग का एक बहुत बड़ा कहानी है. पैरेलल इज बेसिकली मल्टी प्रोसेसर सिस्टम. मल्टी प्रोसेसर सिस्टम, व्हाई इज कॉल्ड मल्टी प्रोसेसर सिस्टम? बिकॉज मल्टीपल प्रोसेसर कनेक्टेड इन अ सिंगल सर्किट. तो यहाँ पे मेन फोकस हमारा कहाँ पे है? मल्टी प्रोसेसर. अब देखो, पैरेलल कंप्यूटिंग रेफर टू अ मॉडल वेयर द कंप्यूटेशन इज डिवाइडेड अमंग द सेवरल प्रोसेसर and they share the same memory. So memory is not a factor over here. Here only factor is several processor processing the same task, and all the processor are considered as a single unit. All the processor are considered as a single unit. Okay, so this is basically the parallel processing works. Okay, so यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो processor 1, processor 2, processor 3 are working same task. Suppose matrix multiplication. So matrix multiplication is like 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7 like that. So the pieces there are the server. Server is basically decide which segment of work will go for this processor, which segment of work is computed by this processor, which segment of work is computed by this processor, and the partial result of this processor are collecting by the server, and server will finally give the result, and that result stored in a shared memory. Okay, that results are basically stored in a shared memory. Once I have to check that my recording is going on or not, because number of time I'm recording and it's just a okay. So recording is going on. So now we go for the next slide. Before that, what is parallel computing has mainframe is main example of parallel computing. So I'm just coming to mainframe first. देखो हमने already पढ़ा दिया, but it is all I don't know
Mainframe is an example of parallel computing method.
why it is not recorded. So mainframe, there was a first example because large computational facilities are there leveraging multiple processing units. ठीक है, तो large computation के लिए multiple processing unit we need, and that's why mainframe name is coming. So mainframe is nothing, it's a multi-processor system. Multi-processor system. Okay. Now huge massive input output operations are there. That's why it is called batch processing system. बैच प्रोसेसिंग सिस्टम, क्योंकि एक बैच में सिमिलर प्रोग्राम जितने भी प्रोग्राम है वो एक साथ रन हो रहा है एक सर्वर में, कोई एक सर्वर मल्टीपल प्रोसेसर के साथ कनेक्ट. समझ में आया? पार्शियल रिजल्ट जो जनरेट हो रहा है सर्वर को, वो फिर से वो आउट एज आउटपुट वो यहाँ पे जनरेट कर मशीन्स में या वर्कस्टेशन और एनी मशीन्स में वो जनरेट कर. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? मैसिव इनपुट इज गिविंग एंड मैसिव आउटपुट इज गिविंग. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड मैसिव इनपुट आउटपुट ऑपरेशन हैज बीन डन थ्रू दिस. ओके, नाउ bulk data processing tasks such as online transaction, enterprise resource planning, and other operation involved. Obviously, bulk processing, huge amount of data is processing through. Okay, so you can say that this is the mainframe, and these are the processor is connected with the mainframe. Now, suppose one processor is faulty processor, some fault is coming over the processor, so other terminal will not be affected. So next thing is written that multiple processor which were presented as a single unit of user. मतलब multiple processor as a single unit हिसाब से काम करें. ठीक है? One of the most attractive feature of mainframe is ability is to highly reliable computer. Highly reliable. Why it is called highly reliable? Because multiple always one. It's just a single unit ये काम करता है, but capable of fault tolerating feature transparency. मतलब अगर एक का fault होता है तो बाकी सब में वो ऐसे नहीं. और सबसे VIT में जो हमारा सबसे पहला मेन फ्रेम था उसका नाम था परम 10,000 एंड विच वाज मेड बाय सीएम. ओके, तो ये हमारे मल्टी प्रोसेसर सिस्टम था, बट आजकल के दिन में ये मेन फ्रेम मल्टी प्रोसेसर यूज नहीं होता है, मल्टी कंप्यूटर का जमाना हो गया, तो हम लोग क्लस्टर में कन्वर्ट करते हैं. ठीक है, तो बैच प्रोसेसिंग, ये ऑलरेडी आई हैव डिस्कस. बैच प्रोसेसिंग वाज मेन एप्लीकेशन ऑफ Okay, so this is all about mainframe. Again, we come to the previous slide for distributed because it is completely mainframe,
Batch
completely
processing
parallel
versus
computing. So we have to switch to distributed computing. So nowadays, distributed computing is basically what happened. Just a minute. Distributed computing, what happened?
normal back button will not all can be. Batch processing was the main application of mainframes. Batch processing.
कंप्यूटिंग नोड मैंने इसलिए लिखा ये डेस्कटॉप मल्टी प्रोसेसर सिस्टम था बट आजकल के दिन में ये मेन फ्रेम मल्टी प्रोसेसर यूज नहीं होता है इन एप्लीकेशन ऑफ मेन फ्रेम अगेन वी कम टू द प्रीवियस स्लाइड फॉर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड because it is completely mainframe is completely parallel computing, so we have to switch to distributed computing. So nowadays distributed computing is basically what happened. Just a minute. Distributed computing, what happened, that distributed means multi-computer system. It is called multi-computing system. Computing system, it means multiple computing nodes are there. Computing node मैंने इसलिए लिखा ये डेस्कटॉप भी हो सकता है नोड मतलब anything. It may be desktop, maybe server, maybe workstation, maybe anything. Okay, so each computing unit are single मतलब it's a independent, each having processor and local memory. This computing unit is also a processor and local memory. This computing unit is also processor and local memory. These computing are also local memory and processor. And many more things are there. जो normal requirement के लिए चाहिए. And these all are connected to the ether. So this is are connected in a network. So our distributed system is a model in which component located on a network. ये हमने देख लिया network में connected है. और component मतलब each computing node is a component. Computers communicated and coordinate with each other through message passing method, which is called MPI. Message passing. The component interact with each other to achieve the common goal. Achieve the common goal. यहाँ पे भी एक सिंगल काम को कर रहा है मल्टीपल कंप्यूटर, वहाँ पे भी एक सिंगल काम को कर रहा था मल्टीपल कंप्यूटर. सेम. तो ये पूरे एक नेटवर्क को एक सिंगल यूनिट कंसीडर किया जाएगा. इट्स कंसीडर्ड एज अ सिंगल. ओके. इसमें क्या क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है? कॉन्करेंसी, मल्टीपल वर्क हैज बीन डन, इंडिपेंडेंट फेलियर. इट मींस इफ दिस नोड विल बी फेलियर, कंप्यूटिंग नोड विल बी फेलियर, अदर विल नॉट बी डिस्टर्ब. तो दिस इज अ वन टू वन, वन टू मेनी कम्युनिकेशन. इसके साथ भी कम्युनिकेशन है, इसके साथ भी कम्युनिकेशन है, इसके साथ भी कम्युनिकेशन है, मतलब हर किसी के साथ कम्युनिकेशन. तो अगर ये फेलियर भी हो जाता है तो इट्स इजीली डिस्कार्डेड फ्रॉम द नेटवर्क. Then heterogeneity. Heterogeneity is very important. Maybe it is a Linux-based computer, it is a Windows-based computer, it is a Red Hat-based computer, it is a Zen-based computer. So all are different operating system. Heterogeneity is there. या यहाँ पे database, ये एक database server है, ये एक pipe server है, ये एक mail oriented server है, और ये एक आपका web server है. So all are different. Heterogeneity is there, but they are connected in a common network. Okay. Scalability. Scalability is basically जितने भी चाहो उतने computing node आप add कर सकते हो according to your needs. ठीक है. So distributed system ये question आया है. Three major milestone. Name three major milestone of the distributed system which lead to compute cloud computing. ये question आप लोगों के already इसमें mastering cloud computing राजकुमार जो है. And these three milestone are client server model, cluster, grid. इन तीनों को पढ़ेंगे then we come to cloud computing. This is our main. ठीक है. So first I'm coming to cloud server, client server model. Client server model, you all know in banking system we use client server model where one client number of client machines are there. So number of client machines are there and one server machine are there. ठीक है. Client programming जो है that is run on the client machine and database server जो है वो database जो है वो server machine में run करता है. ठीक है. So अब क्या है client server model में basically client server model कहाँ use होता है? बैंक retailing system, ठीक है, marketing system, distribution, then automobile system, oil refinery, इन सब में client server model use है. ठीक है. In client server model generally use the software which is ERP. क्योंकि हम बाकी का नाम नहीं करेंगे, accounting finance हमारे काम के लिए नहीं है, ERP हमारे काम के हैं. तो ERP is the software which is basically a customized software. Customized software. Maybe customized software. Why I'm talking about customized software? Maybe two banks are working in different work, but they use the same ERP. So that ERP, how they two different work, the same ERP will be working because they can customize. So banking system is customize their ERP for their own use according to their needs. ठीक है. Here ERP जो हम लोग यूज करते हैं every year you can आप लोग देख सकते हैं कि हमारी जो सिस्टम है ERP सिस्टम है वो चेंज होता जा रहा है. Every time it is changed. Once more I have to check that my recording is going on or not. Just a minute. It's going on. तो बेसिकली ERP जो है दोनों बैंक एक ही ERP यूज करते हैं बट दोनों का अलग अलग काम. So ERP is basically customized, so they customize their according to their own. So VIP first use.
Okay, my PC got stuck.
Birlasoft ERP and now they use Juno ERP. So Juno ERP and Birlasoft ERP two are different ways. They customize. Now our need is different, our credential system is different, our marketing system is different. So based on that, every time the ERP system is customized. Okay. Now CRM. CRM is basically customer relation management. Customer relation management is, suppose I am a customer and my relation with the ERP office is cordial. Why I'm saying cordial? Because whenever I face some problem in ERP, suppose मार्क्स चढ़ाना या अटेंडेंस अपडेट करना या कुछ माने कुछ प्रेजेंटेशन देना, तो हम ईआरपी को हमेशा कुछ बोलते रहते हैं. ईआरपी को जो सिस्टम मैनेज करता है वो हमारे साथ बहुत कॉर्डियल वे में सारी बात सुन के उसको एक्टिव करता है. ठीक है. सो इन दिस वे बेसिकली एक कस्टमर के साथ रिलेशन बनता है. तो इसीलिए बोला जाता है कि क्लाइंट सर्वर मॉडल ऑल्सो डेवलप द कस्टमर रिलेशन मैनेजमेंट. कस्टमर के साथ रिलेशन अच्छा. ठीक है. एंड क्लाइंट सर्वर मॉडल जनरली जो ईआरपी बनाता है वो है SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics. These three company are basically ERP system को develop. ठीक है. Now we go for the next part. Before going to the next part, here I will stop, and again the part 3 I will start that cluster computer. What is the problem in client server model and how cluster computing is? Because a small video I am uploading because it is not taking much more space. Storage issues are there in here in this. Okay, so that's why I stop my recording over here.
All right.